Hola, geek fans! It's that time again. It's 4:30. It's Friday. We're shooting at the luxurious Goodrich Studios International, and this is Geeks at the Movies. I'm your host, Shane Gerich, and joining me, as always, our illustrious lead writer, the Mr. Jacob Desitels.
What's going on, guys?
Today on Geeks at the Movie, we're talking about all kinds of awesome stuff. We got X-Men shows. We got new Marvel trailers. The epicness is to the max. Let us begin with the geek news. Item number 1. The first full trailer for the upcoming Netflix and Marvel series Jessica Jones has been released. Ah!
Yeah.
What were your reactions?
Pretty much the same. It was pretty cool. We talked about all the teasers that have been released, through the past month or so, and now we got the full first trailer. It actually gave us some story points. I thought it was a pretty good trailer. It actually showed us, what the show's going to be about. We got our first small glimpse of Kilgrave. David Tennant's playing the main villain, Kilgrave, also known as Purple Man. And I love the use of purple in this trailer. When they're referring to him, there's always purple in the shot. But
I love that kind of subtle filmmaking.
Yes, and
a lot of people won't notice that, but some people will, and that's why you do it.
Even in the title card, there's purple in the background.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. And we actually got to see what Christian Ritter's acting is going to be like, because I'm not really familiar with her. I haven't seen her in that much.
I've seen her. I recognize her.
Yeah.
I don't know from where.
She's usually...
Did she play a goth girl before? Angry goth teen?
Probably something like that. She's usually in sitcoms and those kind of things. Now they got her for this more serious superhero role. And I love the setup that they did with her talking about her powers, where Luke Cage, who's also in the show, I think is really cool. He was like, so can you punch through a wall? Can you stop a moving car? And it's like a slow moving one. Yeah. So I really like that, but what did you think about the trailer?
This trailer, Jacob, was fantastic. It was phenomenal. I loved it from start to finish. They did everything right. I loved the taste of her powers. I loved that we saw it wasn't much. It just showed you what she can do. I like the setup. That guy, he can control people's minds. It reminded me of the scene from the first Star Wars film, The New Hope, when I can't remember, Obi-Wan tells a stormtrooper, like, "Oh, you don't want to do that." Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was exactly like that.
Right. I thought it was wonderful. Another thing I liked, I was talking to you about this, was scale. This show looks so amazing. It show looks incredible. Why don't other shows like this, on this scale, look this incredible? And it's because the producers, the people making the show, simply don't know what they're doing. That's the only idea I can get to. At this point, you're a professional. You have this budget. You have the multi-million-dollar budget, and you can either look like S.H.I.E.L.D., or you can look like Daredevil or Jessica Jones. Even the movie Spear, you see a movie like Ant-Man, which was made for a dramatically smaller budget than Age of Ultron. They both look fantastic. You can watch there's a new Macbeth movie coming out. Yeah. I bet you that got made for a very small budget, relatively speaking, probably maybe $20-30 million. But it looks great because you shoot with the scale you have in mind. You're like, you want to make it look good, so we're not going to put things in here that just look bad, right? And so they're very subtle with the special effects because they know they go too over the top, let's have the Hulk in there. Hulk, no, that's too expensive, so don't do that. So they seem to know what they're doing. Everything about this trailer. Is there any negative point you thought? Was there any point where you're like, I don't know, what was that about?
Honestly, not really. I wanted to know more, but I feel like they gave us the perfect amount of information. They gave us what we needed to
right.
Get. So there isn't really any negative points. But it made me more excited for the actual show is going to come out November 20th. All episodes are going to be released. I'm going to binge watch that.
Oh, that's sick.
Yes, I'm really excited for this. And
that's really sick for shows like us, those binge watching things, because I want to binge watch it.
Yeah.
For you fans out there, I want to make a review.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. It's tough. I think when the shows are released traditionally, because then we got to wait all the way until next year to do a review of the end of the season. Now this, we can just watch all the shows whenever we want to.
So, see here, the reason why I say it's tough for a show like us is because timeliness matters.
Yeah.
And you have to watch it right then. Otherwise it's no one cares anymore 3 weeks later. Like Daredevil, no one cared 4 weeks later. Which is also something I found strange, that they use that format. It seems like it could hurt them. It's like if you released it a few episodes at a time, could that help you by spreading the word out if more people are getting to know you?
I think it could, but they're coming off of the release of the success of Daredevil now. So I don't think they really have to worry about that.
I'm wondering now that Amazon Prime, they're coming out with a program, High Castle, the Man in the High Castle, and they're actually going to release more on a traditional schedule. I wonder if there's now going to be this debate and there's going to be some research done to say what works best.
Yeah, I think they're definitely experimenting, but I am definitely going to watch all of them when I get the chance. Probably that first day, going to go on Netflix and just watch as many as I can, all in a row.
Wow,
Yeah.
Jacob, I'm impressed.
I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Wait, now you say you're gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm committing to this because I'm pretty sure it's on a Friday. But I'm not even like, I don't really like to binge watch shows, but because I think I find it hard to binge watch like hour-long shows.
Really? I love binge. I always binge watch, but when I say binge watch, I watch 3 episodes in a row.
Okay, yeah.
Usually it's like 3 episodes. Maybe sometimes I watch 4 if I'm into it.
Yeah, and the good
I've
thing
never
about,
watched 11 episodes in a row.
The good thing about this, I'm pretty sure. How many episodes was Daredevil? Like 13, or was it 13 or 10? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't want to say because I could get it wrong.
Yeah, it's around that.
13, because that was one of the complaints.
Okay.
The people wished there was maybe a couple episodes left. There's a little filler. That was one of Daredevil's few complaints that maybe there's got a little filler, like 3/4 of the way in, and they ended the last 2 episodes strong.
Okay. Well, that's what I like about it is that there's very few episodes. Unlike Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which it's a 48-minute show, and there's like 22 episodes. I can't deal with that.
I know. I wish they would drop that format, but it's ingrained historically in the network TV format.
Yeah.
It's ingrained. But I really don't think it's helped serve drama at all. I really don't see it doing anything. I think all it does is just like we're both college students. So just like in college when they say, "Oh, this has to be 5 pages," but I answered your question. I did a good job. Well, you need 2 more pages. It's filler.
That's the good thing about being a journalism student. You can just get all the good. As long as you get all the good information out right away, then it doesn't matter what the length is.
Really?
Yep.
Oh man, you lucky bastard! Everything, but my point is, that's what should matter.
Yeah.
Content matters. Doesn't matter how long it is. Actually, usually you want to make it shorter. But if it needs to be long, you make it long. But these network formats, when it's this 20. Another thing about network shows is episode length. It's fixed. Yeah. It's easier. It's usually either 48 minutes or 43, or maybe it's 42. Between 42 and 48 minutes. It depends on the network and whatnot. On HBO, the episode length isn't fixed. Like we talked about Deadwood recently. The episodes vary by as much as 10 minutes.
Yeah. Deadwood had episodes from like 48 minutes to over an hour.
Right. You don't have to worry about that. It's not constraining your artistic freedom. So I don't understand, but let's put that aside. Back to Jessica Jones. I liked it. I thought it was great. I'm looking forward to this. What do you think, Jake? You looking forward to this as much as I am?
Yes, I'm definitely going to try to binge watch this.
Oh, and we're gonna get you a review in that as soon as we can. Let's move on now to item number 2. After many reports were released claiming that Fox was in negotiations with Marvel to develop an X-Men TV show, it has now been announced that Fox will not only be producing 1, but 2 X-Men shows. The first will be called Hellfire, and the second will be Legion. They'll air on FX. Right now, we don't know if those are subtitles. Not sure how that's going to work, because I'd be surprised that they would name the shows Legion. That's our show. That seems a little surprising to me. Who cares about that? Talk about X-Men live action TV show.
I want to clarify here. Hellfire will be on Fox, and then Legion will be on FX.
Oh, okay.
So, and I think that Legion be on FX actually really makes sense because this is the story of Legion. He's Professor X's son that he doesn't know about. He doesn't know that he has this son who has all these crazy mutant abilities. Apparently, like over time, he developed these multiple personality disorder, and every single one of his personalities has a different power. So, and he has he's like one of the most strongest mutants in X-Men history because he can warp reality and go back in time and do all this crazy shit. So, and I'm really excited to see the show because you think that they would have him in like a movie because he's such a powerful mutant.
See, I am not excited about the show now that you're telling me yourself. Now I was really excited. Now I'm not excited at all. This sounds way too much for a TV show. They can't pull it off.
Like I'm pretty sure like in the comics he was, kind of crazy. But I think looking at the show that I haven't seen, but I've heard a lot
Who's his
about.
mom?
His mom was a Holocaust survivor that Professor X went into the place where she was being treated, and he used her powers to like stop her visions that she was having.
Yeah.
So then they fell in love, and then they had this kid.
Was she a mutant?
No, she's just a regular person.
That's weird. It's just weird. I expected her to be a mutant to get the effect that they usually show. When two mutants have a baby, that mutant's more powerful. That's usually how it works.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is they're gonna go along with the vein of that show Orphan Black, where they have that one girl that plays like all these different characters.
I gotta see that show because that sounds pretty nifty.
I know, and I think they're gonna do that. It's just that all the characters aren't going to be there at the same time, obviously, because he's going to switch through all these different personalities, and each one's going to have a different power. I just think that's a really cool concept.
Yes. Jacob, the character sounds amazing. It's just I just talked about scale. There's a reason they have Daredevil, Netflix. There's a reason they have Jessica Jones. Neither of those people have really crazy powers that are difficult to produce.
Yeah.
Luke Cage, is that the other guy?
Yeah.
What does he do?
He's just really strong.
Okay. Who was there another defender?
Iron Fist. He's pretty much the most fantastical of all of them because he like generates like kinetic energy into his fist, and he can like he can like I don't know what he does. But he brings all this like power around his one fist, and he can like punch through a wall. I don't know. Or something.
That's still not that fantastic. It's not the Hulk.
And his main thing is that he's a kung fu master. So.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah.
They knew that. They knew the scale. Here, I don't know. I'm wary. What channel was this? The FX one?
Yeah, but in FX, that's where they make some really quality stuff on FX, like the show Fargo. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it.
I watched the first season of that. That was amazing. Then they had The Shield, which I didn't watch, and they had all these.
They have Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, they have Sons of Anarchy too.
That's a pop. I'm not really that big a fan of Sons of Anarchy. I saw like the first. I actually saw like the first couple seasons.
Okay.
Because it seemed like a show I'd like.
Yeah.
But it never clicked with me.
Yeah, well, I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was like.
I was a gangster show.
And Ron Perlman's in it.
It's just.
Yeah.
It's strange. It's never quite clicked with me. I waited 2 seasons because I'm like, this is gonna get good. And no.
But they have really high quality, and they have more darker content on that show too. Like Sons of Anarchy was rated like one of the most violent TV shows.
Yeah, it was a violent show. I watched the first season. It was a violent show.
So I think Legion is the right place to put that show. Let's move on to the other show, Hellfire, which is about the Hellfire Club, which we actually got introduced to in First Class. That was the place that Kevin Bacon was in charge of.
Really?
Yeah. So
Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah, apparently it's going to take place in the same time period, like in the 60s. So maybe it'll take place like after Kevin Bacon died. It'll be like the new owners of it, because there's a lot of characters. They have like.
Jacob, wait, hold on. Wait, so you're telling me it's gonna be a historical drama?
It's going to be in the 1960s. So.
Man, I was so pumped up and now I'm so deflated.
Well, why?
Historical dramas are really expensive. The most Dead was one of the most special on TV. All historical dramas are very expensive.
I think that it's going to take place mostly inside the club. I think that's what it's going to be.
Self-contained.
Yeah, so it's going to be very self-contained with people that have mutant abilities at the same time. Because I did some research on the Hellfire Club.
Oh, I'm not excited at that idea. That sounds lame now.
And they have this weird system like the Black King and the White I can't remember Emma Frost. She was the White Queen. So now I think they're gonna have like all these different people like take over the roles now that all these people are gone, because they went on to form, the people that didn't die went on to form the original Brotherhood of Mutants. So they're gonna have different people come in and take over this place. That's what I'm guessing. That's what makes sense, because you can't have Kevin Bacon to come back every episode for this. So I think it's going to take place after he dies, like after the events of First Class. But also, we weren't even sure if these shows are going to happen, because a lot of the TV shows that get ordered for pilots don't get turned into full series. So, because Fox has been pushing for this for so long, I think at least one of these are going to happen. And I'd be more interested in Legion, just because we know for a fact that there's going to be a mutant in that show. We don't even know if there's going to be mutants in Hellfire. We're just guessing that. So I'm overall pretty excited for this, but you're not.
I was excited, and then Jacob just informed me, gave me the details, and now That doesn't mean I'm not gonna love the shows. Just this pitch, what I just heard from you is all negative. What I just heard from you, none of it is positive. But it doesn't mean anything, right? Because this is all very vague. Maybe they're gonna put a lot of money in these shows. Maybe they're gonna do it in a way where it works. I don't know. Maybe the special effects will be kind of shitty, but the show will still be great. I love the Flash. Flash doesn't have good special effects. I love it. Doesn't matter, right? There's more. But every element matters.
Yeah, and there's one thing that's pretty important that I should mention, that they're I don't know that Marvel is going to have any contribution to this, but they're co-producing with Fox, because that was part of the deal they made. Like, we gotta, like, we have to get some money off of this. So we're gonna co-produce with you and not actually do anything.
Obviously,
but
like Guillermo del Toro or Steven Spielberg or something.
Yeah, just stamp that name right on there. But I think these shows are going to take some cues from Daredevil and Jessica Jones. See how those shows did, and make them in the vein of those shows, because I think
they have to see the difference.
Yeah, and I think that these will be more high quality shows, because you just look at a show like Gotham, which I don't like. We just look at that and you can just tell, like, just by the way it's shot, that it's more high quality than some of the other shows out there. Like, because they don't try to go big with it. They keep it small in Gotham. It's more of a cop show with some Batman villains thrown in there. I don't really like that part of the show, honestly, when they throw Batman villains in there.
Where's Batman?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just put Batman in? What are you doing?
But I'm going to stay positive for this. I'm definitely going to be looking forward to when these shows... I'm going to keep track of these shows and see if the pilots, actually get turned to full seasons. So.
Jacob, I'm positive and realistic.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We're now on item number 3. That's tree, folks. Like the living flame, the plant. After director Rupert Wyatt left the Fox's upcoming Gambit movie last month, there have been reports claiming that Fox is looking at 3 new directors to take over the project. They are Doug Liman from Edge of Tomorrow, Josh Cornish from Attack the Block, and Shane Black from Iron Man 3, everyone's favorite MCU film.
I actually only really know Doug Liman and Shane Black. I don't really know Joe Cornish, because I think the only thing that he has directed is Attack the Block, which I've heard.
What is that?
I've heard great things about. Apparently, it's like a horror sci-fi film that it has the guy that's going to be in the new Star Wars movie. I can't remember the actor's name now, but it has Finn in it. That was the first show that he started off on, or the first movie that they started off in, and I think Doug Liman is actually the most established director here, because he's directed some really good films like Edge of Tomorrow. He was involved. He directed Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which I actually really liked. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't.
He's directed some really big projects. But Joe Cornish and Shane Black's only directed 2 other movies. He's directed Iron Man 3 and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which also had Robert Downey Jr. and it was like a film noir, and I actually really liked that movie. And I liked Iron Man 3 more than most people did.
I liked Iron Man 3. I enjoyed it, but it's weird. Like I liked it, so I don't know why. I'm not even gonna hate on it. It's just compared to the other movies, I don't like it as much.
Yeah, there definitely was some problems with it, but he's also directing the upcoming Predator remake that they're doing, so we'll see how that goes. But I would actually want Doug Liman to direct this, just because he's the most established director out of these 3, and he showed with Edge of Tomorrow, which I love that movie.
What?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
It has your favorite actor Tom Cruise in it, but it has
Tom.
It has one of my favorite actors, is actually Emily Blunt in it. That movie was just so good, and he shows that he knows how to handle like these sci-fi type movies, because even though Gambit isn't going to be like a sci-fi movie, there's a lot of fantastical elements to it, and they gave it a $150 million budget, which it doesn't really need, I don't think. But it shows that he knows how to handle big budget movies. So I think he would be the correct choice out of these 3, but knowing very little about these 3 directors, what's your take on it?
There you go.
Okay.
Next segment. Item number 4. New images for the upcoming DC film Suicide Squad have been released in an issue of Empire, giving us some new looks at Harley Quinn and the Joker. I love you, Harley. I love all the pics. The one pic of the Joker and the long thing.
Yeah.
I didn't care so much for.
I agree. I like the coat and I like the cane, but what's up with the sweatpants, man?
Yeah.
he's barefoot too, but I think that's just going to show,
They're doing a new spin.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't be like Keith Ledger. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't be like Jack Nicholson. You can't. No one's gonna be like the other guy.
Yeah. I think that I don't think he's going to be as good as Heath Ledger, but I still think he's going to be an awesome Joker. I'm really excited to see Jared Leto as this character, and these pictures, they just give us more of a look, because there's that one picture where it shows Harley Quinn sitting on one side, then the Joker in the straitjacket sitting on the other side. I think that's going to be the lead up to when all those people break into Arkham and then start, and they free the Joker, and then he torches Harley Quinn, and then she becomes the Harley Quinn that we know. So it's just cool, seeing like picking up these pieces and putting them together before the movie actually comes out. I like doing that, like picking up just little hints that the
they can trick you though with the editing.
Yeah, they definitely can do that. I really like the cover with Enchantress. I find it really interesting that they're focusing on her with this part of the marketing. I think they want to show.
What's Enchantress's role?
She's like the only one that actually has powers in the group, besides Killer Croc, because he's kind of a mutant already. So
he's half crocodile.
Yeah.
So you get.
but she actually has like magical powers, at least in the comics. And there's a part in the trailer where it shows her going into this cave, and I think that's where she gets like possessed by this demon. Because in the article apparently she talks about playing two different characters. So I think she's going to play the person that she was before she went to that cave, and she's going to play the Enchantress, which happened after she came out. So I'm actually excited to see that they're going to focus on her at least a little bit, because she's a really interesting character. Like all these other people, they're just normal people, and she actually has powers. So I think she.
Focus on the power people, folks.
Yeah, I think.
Or skip the non-power people equipment and stuff.
Yeah, and it looks like they're doing that too, because there was another cover with a Deadshot. It showed him with all his armor and everything.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have that mask that has the eye thing.
Iron Man is empowered. Falcon can fly. Give him stuff.
Yeah.
Don't give him bow and arrow and no armor.
There's that one guy called Slipknot. He's the master of knots. I don't know what his role is gonna be. It shows him like shooting this gun in the trailer, and it looks like it's shooting a net. So I don't think he actually has like firearms. I don't know what his role is.
Oh, they get top Hawkeye as the most useless person.
But they also have Captain Boomerang, man. He has boomerangs. I was actually kind of stunned when I saw that they put him into this more realistic movie. But I think
that's even worse than the bow and arrow thing. That's actually more because you can't use it indoor.
I know. There was that one ridiculous episode of Arrow where they had him. And it was only good because Flash was in it too. But
it was so stupid though.
I know.
It made no sense. Like Flash could just grab all the boomerangs.
I think they're gonna have to do something to make him not as ridiculous. Because they made him look cool. He's got the like big sideburns. He got the Australian accent. Yeah. So. They're gonna have to do something with that, but I think
he uses the machetes just gonna kill people.
There's probably gonna be even more like it actually pretty cool if the Empire released like one cover issue for each character, because it looks like that's what they're doing, because they Joker, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Enchantress now. So they might release one for like every single one of the members of the Suicide Squad. So those will probably be released by the time this episode is out. So I'm excited for Suicide Squad, and these picks actually just increase my excitement.
Medium. They don't really increase it or decrease it. On one hand, I have Joker looking a little. On the other hand, I get more Harley Quinn, and I think they're nailing her.
Yeah.
So I was already excited about this movie. I'm still excited about this movie. Stay tuned to Geeks of the Movies. We are going to talk about it. Let's move on to item number 5. The first full trailer has been released for the upcoming Sony film Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Like that.
Yep.
Giving us where the hell am I? Which stars Lily James and is based off the parody novel of the same name.
Yeah, we actually talked about the novel like a couple weeks ago when we talked about the author of that book,
right.
Possibly directing and writing the.
I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, he's possibly directing the new Flash movie that they're making. Right. So I don't even think that's true. Anyways,
let's hope it's not true.
But he's not directing this movie. I forget who the director of this movie is, but I actually really like the trailer. I thought that it didn't focus on enough of the comedy. I thought because they released this small, like really short teaser.
It didn't seem like a comedy. It's comedy.
It's a parody. It's a parody of Pride and Prejudice. Then they throw zombie.
But it looks like they're not parody. It looks like they're doing it straight.
There was a lot of subtle comedy in the book. So, and in the small teasers that they released, they actually show a little bit of comedy in that really small teaser. In this one, they went like full serious, and I wanted them to focus more on the comedic element because it's like you know this classic book that you all love. Now we're putting zombies in there too. We're gonna have the what's the name of all the girls?
All I know is Mr. Darcy.
Well,
the love interest.
I forget what their last name is, but you're gonna have them.
Jacob, I never read it. Yeah. I saw I never watched it on the BBC thing, but it's so famous. I remember the Mr. Darcy thing. That's all I know.
I hope that what they have like Mr. Darcy be kind of like the damsel in distress, and then have them go save him. And there's actually like a lot of really cool action. Like there was that one shot where it's from the zombies' point of view, and it shows him.
Oh, that was fantastic! I loved that.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
That was a version of that. I mean, that shot's been done in many different mediums.
Yeah.
A version that was done in an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shot was great. Jacob, before I saw this trailer, I would have told you I don't give a damn. After seeing this trailer, I would have told you differently. Now that you're telling me about the comedic elements, I'm going back to not wanting to see as much because I liked the way it looked. I thought it looked fucking great. I was into it. I'm like, wow, this is actually. First of all, the setting. I'm like, this is like a real early 19th century England. These people look like from 19th century England. And what the hell? Yeah. You've just been invaded by zombies. It's like a real what if,
yeah.
Right? I like that, but if they start messing with things too much, then I lose that flavor. It becomes less. I want it to be like Walking Dead. I like my zombie movies serious. I've never liked the funny zombie movie yet.
Well, I liked it. I like the serious tone, but what I want is...
I don't mind like levity and humor and jokes. Yeah. All my favorite HBO shows are funny as hell.
Yeah.
But it's not one liner.
Yeah.
It's not like Flash and Arrow. They throw one liners in. They're not organic. They don't actually match what people are talking about. It's like, why'd you just say that right now?
Yeah.
Right? That's what I want.
Yeah. What I want is the subtle humor that the book had, but the book also highlighted on how ridiculous it was. Like how ridiculous that zombies are in this classic novel. So, and it doesn't look like that they're highlighting on it that much.
What do you mean by that? I mean, how does it highlight that fact?
Like, there's a part where the main character has a fight in a dojo in whatever century England.
Yeah, 19th century.
19th century England. And, she has a fight in a dojo, and then she, rips out the person's heart at the end. And so they went, full, over the top. They jumped the shark.
All right.
On purpose.
Okay, so they didn't try to make it realistic zombies invade Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
They made it really ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think that it's actually good that they're not doing that in the movie. I just want the subtle humor that the book had. So I actually really like this trailer. I'm looking forward to seeing more from this movie, and I really like seeing Cersei in this. Cersei in Game of Thrones.
Cersei's badass. She was great, and not just Game of Thrones, but also Sarah Connor Chronicles. Yes, it sucked. It got canceled, but she was great in that.
Yeah. And actually,
I wish they hired her instead of freaking Daria.
Yeah.
Oh. You picked the wrong character.
You're in the right show, the wrong character.
Yeah, exactly.
But they actually did have a little bit of levity in this. They had when the dad was like, my daughters aren't trained, for living at home. They're trained for fighting. And she was like, oh, I never traded my sword for a ring. So they had those that subtle humor that.
Yeah, I kind of expected that. It was no big deal.
And I like it. I actually like all the big action scenes.
What I'm wondering, like, this movie actually fascinates me, is they said the zombies started coming after the Black Plague.
Yeah.
Now I know it's a movie, and they might ignore history and whatever, right? That was 400 years? I mean, not before this.
I think they're gonna mess with history a little bit then.
Because how does English society develop when we're run by a zombie apocalypse? Or is this an issue? I know, the plague. See, a plague starts in Italy. Maybe this because they're on England, or England on an island. I'm wondering, well, I know I shouldn't think about this too much, Jacob, but they mentioned the Black Plague in the 1450s when the Black Plague happened.
Yeah, in the book, they do show that it has been around for a while. Like zombies are just part of like the everyday life, kind of, and they have to have people like the sisters go and take out the zombies when they get out of control. So it might be a little bit like that.
Wait, explain to me, when they get, is everyone affected?
Like, yeah, like, well,
if you died, you become a zombie.
I don't know.
I shoot you.
I don't think they went that route.
Okay.
But like what I'm saying is, like in The Walking Dead, when they have herds, like when like a herd of zombies like invades town, then they have to get some people to go take them out. But zombies are just really a part of like everyday life.
Right. You see in The Walking Dead, there's a zombie walking by and they just ignore him because why bother? Why waste the energy?
And these also look like more high-powered zombies, like in like a 28 Days Later, like not that much, like they're not like running at full speed like in that movie, but
I don't care for that. I prefer the slower zombie.
Yeah, me too.
So it's hard to believe when they're that powerful and run unlimited stamina.
Yeah, but I thought the special effects looked good.
Yeah, it looked great, Jacob. I was really surprised by how good it looked.
Yeah.
Oh, and they had what's his name from Game of Thrones too?
Are you talking about the dad?
Yeah.
I can't remember what character.
Lannister.
Yeah. They had him in there. So I think they're drawing from the right show.
Yeah, they have the right people like to get the atmosphere, the English aristocracy atmosphere.
And the main character played by Lily James, she was just Cinderella. I think at least she was just Cinderella in the live action remake they did, and that got some good reviews.
So this is surprisingly intrigued me. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to add this into the show, because I watched that trailer and was like, I'm really surprised by how good this is.
Jacob, I'm stunned. I am actually stunned by that.
Yeah.
I thought this was gonna suck. I'm like, why? Anyways, so we'll talk to you about more of that later. Let's move on to item number 6. I busted the other hand. The epic. According to a report in the Hollywood Reporter, director of the first Ant-Man film, Payton Reed, is in talks to direct the sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Talk to you about.
So yeah, we saw Payton Reed direct the first Ant-Man film. After it was that whole backlash of Marvel getting rid of Edgar Wright, and
who still has credits, like writing credits and stuff.
Yeah,
he had a big role in that film.
Yeah, and then they brought in Payton Reed and was like, no, don't bring in the comedy guy for this comedic movie. but he actually showed that he knows how to direct action too. So I think that it makes sense for them to want him back for Ant-Man and the Wasp, just like James Gunn returning for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. He directed the first movie, and I think like right away that they had him signed on for the second movie too.
Yeah, I don't even understand why there's at this point. Yeah, there might be a problem before, but now, okay, he's shown he can do it.
I think it's because they didn't know how well received the first movie was going to be, because remember they just announced the sequel, so I think they were waiting to see the reception. And then they were waiting to see when they could squeeze in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay. And now they're deciding on a director, but I think he is going to be the guy that returns, because he added so much flavor to them. He gave the movie the feel that it deserved.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to see, and he showed what an MCU director needs to do. They need to be able to work within an existing universe. You need to be a team player. You can't be the independent artist that's like, I gotta create my vision.
Yeah, and remember, he just came in like less than a month before shooting.
Right.
And then immediately just picked up the script and was like, all right, let's go.
Let's do this. Take this to the max. Right. If you're working with a team of people, you just gotta figure out what works and what doesn't.
And now he has like 3 years to think about the next sequel. So yeah, I think he's definitely going to return. I'm excited for it.
Fantastic. We are excited here at Geeks the Movies. We've now reached the part of the show that we call Geek Talk. This is where we talk about anything from the Geekverse. Jacob, what are we talking about this week?
This week we're talking about our favorite comedies.
Ooh.
Mixing it up a little bit, because I've actually wanted to talk about some of my favorite comedies for a while on this show. It's because I have so many strong feelings about some of the ones that I like a lot. Like, I'm going to talk about my all-time favorite comedy. That is Anchorman. I love that movie with a passion.
Anchorman with
Will Ferrell, Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, all these great actors, and it has so many great cameos, like Ben Stiller's cameo as the Latino news guy.
What?
And he comes in with a whip.
It's so stupid.
Yes, it is a very stupid movie, but that's why I like it.
Right.
And then I thought that the sequel was too stupid. But I just love that movie so much. And then I'm part of the generation that grew up with Adam McKay and Judd Apatow movies. Those are the comedies that I like The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up. Those are some of my favorite comedies. What are the comedies that you like? Do you like slapstick comedies?
So we're talking about movies.
Yes.
I've never been to a comedy in a theater, I don't think. Like, I'm not into... Like, it's a general rule when it comes to comedies, I'm not into going at it for an experience. I might be in a funny movie, like a Pixar film. Even next year you'd call it a comedy.
Yeah.
Right? But I've never been to an actual comedy. I was trying to think if I've been to a comedy. Like
This
a proper comedy.
Yeah, this wasn't defined as comedy, but you saw Ant-Man. Because I actually think of that as more comedy.
It's action comedy.
Yeah. You haven't been
But it's not straight comedy. It still has more drama than I expect from, you know what I mean? It's action comedy.
But what comedies do you remember watching? Just any.
Oh, no. I don't worry. I got this set up for you here, Jake. Don't worry.
Right.
I'm going somewhere with this.
Right.
I don't, as a general rule, like a big fan of comedies, except on the small screen, except animated. So I love South Park, love Family Guy.
I don't.
You don't like South Park and Family Guy?
I like South Park. I don't like Family Guy.
Oh, okay, well.
I hate Family Guy.
Okay, I love both shows. I think they're amazing. I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh my god! I Mastodon did the opening for that movie. Have you ever seen the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie?
Not yet.
That was so great. I love that opener.
Anyways, so I like those like, on a small scale. I like Robot Chicken.
Mark Hamill in that.
How do you not like a Family Guy? It has a lot of scary. There's those other things I just mentioned.
No, it's too dumb. It's too idiotic. I just can't handle it. I don't know. I used to watch it. I used to love it until but then a few years ago I just stopped watching it.
Well, they've gotten more idiotic.
Okay.
You prefer say The Message.
Yeah.
Like South Park is very, very clever.
Yeah. I like The Simpsons. I
don't like The Simpsons.
They did that marathon where they did a non-stop marathon of every single episode, and I recorded every single episode because I had never seen it before. And then I sat down and watched the first 2 seasons. And was like, this is really good.
Yeah, no, it's really bad actually. But we're not gonna get into me hating The Simpsons right now. I'll get back to you. I'm gonna answer your question.
All right.
I was struggling with this. I was thinking of things that were not really comedies. Like, guys, is there any straight comedy that's a movie? It's a straight comedy. Can't be other things. And then I've watched a lot. Half Baked, starring Dave Chappelle. You may know some of the marijuana leaves on my do-rag here. It is a pot movie. It's about smoking weed and doing drugs. That movie is funny as fuck. Wow, and they get the culture down dead on. Dave Chappelle is I love the Chappelle Show. Did you ever watch the Chappelle Show?
I actually really like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, this was a fantastic movie, and I've seen it multiple times, mostly while high. Epic.
I've never seen that movie, but there has been other stoner movies I've seen, like Pineapple Express. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't seen many stoner movies actually. Like the Cheech and Chong films, I don't like those. They're too stupid.
I want to see Reefer Madness. That movie that was made in the 30s. That's supposed to be like a warning against pot, and these guys they smoke marijuana.
Jacob, I can't show you. There's a poster right there. I can't show it to you. It's off the screen. Reefer Madness poster. I have seen Reefer Madness, folks. It is madness. They smoke weed, and then they start raping people. Then they start killing people. They go. It's actually hilarious, but it's not meant to be hilarious.
Yeah. So that's like a whole other topic. Like movies that are funny that aren't meant to be funny.
Right.
Like movies that are
and propaganda movies.
Yes. And but getting back to straight up comedies, there have been more recent ones that I really like. Like I loved This Is the End. I'm a really big fan of the whole Seth Rogen, James Franco collaborations that they do. They made Pineapple Express, and they made...
Is that the Korean movie using North Korea?
Then they made The Interview, which wasn't good at all, actually.
Was that North Korea?
Yeah.
That sucked?
There was so much controversy about that movie, and then just came out and wasn't even that good. But
nah, Fred, who cares? Keep going.
But then there's a new Seth Rogen movie coming out. It's a holiday movie called The Night Before, and he's Jewish, and it's a Christmas movie. So there's some scenes with him in a church that look really funny. But I'm really excited for that, and I just get really excited when I see a new comedy movie coming out in general, just because.
Really?
I like all of these, more serious.
You go to the theater to see him.
Yes. Like, I saw another Seth Rogen movie, because I think he's probably my most favorite comedic actor. Neighbors.
Straight comedies you go to see all the time.
All the time.
I mean, I have very particular taste. I know this is what people do. I just never do it. The idea is kind of baffling to me.
It's just because, you go to the theater to see, like, these Oscar-winning movies because you want to see, like, the great performances and everything. But then you want to go to just to have fun. Like,
right, you don't need to be like, oh, you need to go to Schindler's List, like, yep, millions of people died in ovens.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
right.
then you go see a movie like Neighbors, and the entire theater was cracking up during that entire like it was like nonstop. Like that was like one of the more recent movies that was actually like a really good theater going experience, because the whole theater was into it. That's
true with comedies. I mean, like I said, I haven't been through a straight comedy, but like Ant-Man, you left with the crowd.
Yeah, and then this is the end. That movie, just at the end of the movie, for those of you who've seen it, you get what I'm saying. But back streets back, all right. Like you need to see. I'm gonna recommend you that movie because it's so crazy and over the top. I just love the the Seth Rogen, James Franco, Jonah Hill, but Jonah Hill's been going more into more serious roles lately.
But he went back to Fat Jonah Hill.
Yes.
Because he was trying the skinny route, and that wasn't work for him.
Another one of my favorite comedies of all time, both of the 22 Jump Street movies. I love those movies. 21 Jump Street and 20 Jump Street, great movies.
I'm so baffled by this segment, Jacob. So let's move on to the next segment.
Yes.
Can we do that?
Yes,
excellent. All right, we've now reached the part of Geeks and Movies that we like to call old school. This is where you talk about anything that's over 10 years old.
Yes.
It's real simple. Jacob, what movie are you talking about this week?
This week, we're concluding our trilogy review. We're talking about
Star Wars. There was a conclusion.
Yep, talking about Star Wars: Return of the Jedi.
Ooh.
So we talked about Episode 4, and we talked about Empire in the in previous episodes. So now we're kind of concluding this original trilogy review.
And we're gonna try to keep it under 5 minutes, folks.
Yes.
See, we can do that. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna do proper reviews. Jacob, you can do proper reviews for all these.
Yeah.
Whenever you want. But for the show,
yeah,
5 minutes. I got the timer right there.
Okay. So this is actually my least favorite of the original trilogy. But that being said, it's still a fantastic movie. It just wasn't on the scale of Empire Strikes Back, like that was like the epitome of filmmaking, and then Return of the Jedi came out and was like, okay, that's like down here, when like Empire's like up here. So I still really like the movie. I love the Ewoks. I love everything on Endor. I thought was
the
great.
scene where one of them dies and the other Ewok like pokes it. It's like really kind of brutal.
When I was a kid watching that, I got so sad.
I mean, it's actually, I saw it recently. I'm like, that's surprisingly brutal that he put it in the way that he did.
Yeah,
and the way it's shot.
Yeah, and people don't like Ewoks, but they don't realize that they're like they kill people.
Right.
Like at the end of the movie, they're playing drums on the stormtrooper's helmet that they killed.
Right.
But my favorite part of the movie is at the end when Luke is on the Death Star with Darth Vader and the Emperor.
Ooh.
That entire sequence that's probably like one of my favorite things from the original trilogy. That just everything on Death Star.
I love the dialogue. I love it's so epic when they're talking. I love the way Palpatine sounds.
Yes. And then you get to see Darth Vader without his helmet on. You get that real human interaction between him and Luke at the end, where Luke like forgives him because he like redeems himself by throwing the Emperor down that big thing.
Right.
But what did you think of this movie?
Return of the Jedi is my favorite of all the Star Wars films. And the reason it's favorite is because it has Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
I loved it when I was a kid. I loved the big space slug. I was like, look at he's so ridiculous looking.
And they got Slave Leia too. and they actually have Boba Fett doing something.
Right. So they have Boba Fett, and they got Jabba the Hutt. They got Luke being a badass. They had the. I really like this a lot as a kid. I haven't seen these recently. I'm thinking that I might like Return of the Jedi more if I saw them recently.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, Return of the Empire Strikes Back. It's a better made movie for a number of reasons. It's better made tonally, blah blah. But Return of the Jedi is a little more spectacle over content.
You're definitely not alone with that being your favorite movie. A lot of people like it because it's kind of like the culmination of everything that is Star Wars.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's why I like it. And like you, I didn't mind the Ewoks. I'm not sure, again, if I saw it more recently. I did see it somewhat more recently, and I remember thinking, man, it's kind of brutal how that Ewok died. Now, they've seen that Ewok dies, they make it really sad. It's not like Jar Jar slapstick being stupid, right? So, but I do understand that they took it a little too far with the Ewoks, right?
Yeah.
They could have toned it back.
Yeah,
it's silliness.
I actually rewatched all of the original trilogy like a year ago.
On VHS?
Yep. And I remember watching episode 6 again and thinking, wow, this is really the part where I think George Lucas really started to ham it up.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of comedy that I felt that didn't fit. Like, the whole thing with Han Solo being blind and accidentally taking out Boba Fett.
Oh, that was garbage.
Yes, but they...
Garbage.
There's a reason they tried to bring back Boba Fett in the old expanded universe, because he died in a really bullshit way. But overall, I really love this movie. I love Star Wars. And I'm excited.
Check out any other thing we did, because he'll talk about Star Wars at some point.
Yeah, I try to jam in Star Wars even when it doesn't fit.
Right.
But
check out our Schindler's List review with Jacob talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm really excited to see where they go after episode 6 into episode 7.
Oh, so much excitement!
We're getting close now.
When I was a kid, I really cared. I care less now, but I'm still excited because prequels. They were like a horrible death blow.
Yeah.
But I'm like a zombie now. I'm starting to recover.
I think they're really going to give us what we wanted in the prequels in the new trilogy.
Please give it. Oh, I need it. My body is ready.
You're acting even more excited than I am. Right?
I know, because I'm thinking about it in comparison to those prequels. I'm like, oh, it'd be so good.
Yeah, I'm definitely really excited, and I'm actually going to rewatch the original trilogy again if I have the time, but right before episode 7, so I can get ready for it. Because we're both really excited, if you couldn't tell.
Anyways, Jacob, it's a sad time for the moment because we've reached the end of Geeks at the Movies for today. For you fans at home, you can check us out on our YouTube channel. Remember to put Geeks at the Movies in quotes. That way you'll actually get to our channel. Go to the channel, you can get whatever content you want. Check us out on Facebook, Geeks at the Movies. Tweet us, Geeks at the Movie. Get rid of the S, it's the Twitter limit. You can email us at geeksatthemovies.ct@gmail.com. Thank you, Jacob Isles. Is there anything else you want to say?
You can also check us out on Fridays at 4:30. We'll have an episode on Charter Channel 192. So you check us out there.
Anyways, folks, my name is Shane Goodrich. This is
Jacob Desitels.
And we've been Geeks at the Movies. Puzzles! Puzzles, we do it! We do puzzles, we little. Look at little humans. He's a little.